a frigid, starless night, a young man found himself walking down a lonely road that led to a distant village. His footsteps echoed against the silence, the only sound for miles, until a sudden voice from behind made him freeze. "Stop, my child. Go ahead, but tread carefully." He spun around, startled, to see an old man emerging from the shadows. Confused, the young man asked, "Why?" "What's ahead?" The old man, his voice heavy with an inexplicable sadness, replied, "You don't know, do you? Many years ago, on this very road, some youths murdered a traveling trader named Jivan Lal." The young man, now curious, pressed, "Murdered? Why would they do that?" "For money," the old man said, pointing a trembling finger toward a twisted, ancient tree whose leaves trembled in the breeze. "They buried him under that tree. Thanks for the warning about the thieves," the young man said, feeling a bit more at ease. "Not thieves," the old man corrected, his tone turning darker. "Then what?" the young man asked, a hint of fear creeping into his voice. The wind began to whip through the leaves, making them rustle violently. "The spirit of Jivan Lal," the old man whispered, almost as if the words were forbidden. "That's ridiculous." The young man scoffed, though his voice wavered. The old man continued, "Yes, Jivan Lal's soul roams this road, telling his story to any young traveler who dares pass by." The young man thought for a moment before replying, "I've never heard anyone in the village speak of this. They know nothing of it, so why would they?" The old man responded, "And after he tells his story?" the young man asked, unease growing within him. "Afterward, he kills the traveler and buries their body under that tree," the old man said, his voice filled with grim certainty. The wind picked up again, making the leaves tremble even more violently. "But why?" the young man stuttered, his fear now evident. "Because he believes every young man is one of those who took his life," the old man explained, a flicker of anger in his eyes. A tense silence fell between them. Finally, the young man asked, "How do you know all of this?" A bitter smile curled the old man's lips as the young man's legs began to tremble. "Because, boy," the old man began, his voice dropping to a low, raspy whisper, "I was once like you, brave and curious. I walked this road, ignoring all the warnings. The night seemed to grow colder, the wind cutting through the young man's clothes like icy blades. He shivered as his thoughts raced. I, too, met an old man beneath this tree," the old man continued, nodding toward the twisted oak. "He spoke of Jivan Lal, the trader whose soul lingers, trapped by the violent way he died." The leaves rustled louder, whispering secrets of their own. The young man glanced over his shoulder, half expecting to see a ghostly figure step out from the darkness. "But I didn't run," the old man said, moving closer, his face now just inches away. "I listened, and I learned that Jivan Lal's spirit doesn't just haunt this place, he's looking for someone to carry his story forward." The wind howled, seeming to echo the old man's chilling words. "You mean," the young man stammered, unable to finish. "Yes," the old man hissed, his face contorting into a malevolent grin. "Tonight, Jivan Lal has chosen you, just as he chose me years ago." A surge of panic gripped the young man. He tried to run, but his legs felt like lead, frozen in place. The old man's laughter, cold and sinister, filled the air as the shadows around the tree began to twist and coalesce into a dark, looming figure. Out of the shadows, a figure emerged, Jivan Lal himself, pale and gaunt, his eyes hollow and fixed on the young man. A bony finger pointed directly at him. "You will tell my story. You will keep my memory alive," the spirit intoned, his voice a mix of anguish and fury. The young man's scream shattered the stillness of the night, but the wind quickly swallowed it, along with the rustling leaves and the old man's fading laughter. As he fell to his knees, immobilized by fear, the old man's form dissolved back into the darkness, leaving him alone with the vengeful spirit of Jivan Lal. And so, the curse of this haunted road endured, trapping every passerby in the grip of a restless soul. The leaves never stopped rustling, never stopped whispering, always waiting for the next young traveler to walk this forsaken path.